Good morning. My story started 22 years ago. It was November 1996, and I was asked to babysit 3 small children. The parents were really looking for someone who could stay overnight so that they could go away. And by December, I was staying a week with the children, doing their entire routine. I remember loving that week and really missing all 3 of them when I was back home. Looking back, I believe my legacy started that specific week. 3 months later, February 1997, the family needed help again, except this time it could be 1 or 2 nights, 4 or 5, maybe a week. They just weren't sure. The mother had been diagnosed with a neuroendocrine cancer. That's a tumor that spreads rapidly through the body and includes the brain. They needed to be able to get up and go. I find it no coincidence that I had just been with them 3 months before, knew the routine, and could jump in. 18 months later, in August of 1998, they needed help again, except this time it would be indefinitely. The mother was no longer able to do what she once could. So I came in, shared air with her and her children in her home. We had about a week of summer left, and then the children would start school, kindergarten, 3rd and 4th grade. Less than a month later, on September the 10th, 1998, their mother would pass and move to heaven. I find it no coincidence that I was with them on this day. At 2 o'clock in the afternoon, their dad called. "Mamie, things are not good. Please do not bring them home after school. I'll communicate with you later." So much later, I delivered them home to their dad. And as the front door closed, I turned, sat on the front steps, knowing what was about to transpire. Within seconds, I could hear the cries of all 3 of the children, and I knew which cry went with which child. It's a sound that I'll never, ever forget. I find it no coincidence that I was able to capture that moment. So from 96 to 98, a relationship, a consistency, a familiarity had been established with the children and I, but not because I knew to do that or even realized that's what was happening. I believe it was supernatural. I believe that God Almighty designed that to emulate who He is and who He would be. A desire had been birthed on the inside of me after she passed, but really it had been conceived 2 years before that. See, the Lord is a constant. He's immovable. He's unstoppable. He's steady. He's not going anywhere. He is surprised by nothing. So my human desire was just a smidge of who He is. And He put that on the inside of me because that was His desire to be a constant for that family. So as the story goes, the dad and I married 2 years later, and we've been married 18 years. He's a wonderful man, totally devoted to his family, crazy smart. The joke at our house is that most of the things he says, I respond with, "How do you know that? Where did you read that?" But since Raising 3 children is so easy. We added 2 more. So we have 5 children, and they love each other for the most part. See, I could not leave a legacy of consistency to my family if the Lord was not a constant. There would be no way to do that. Life is too hard. The ups and downs of the mental and physical wears and tears of life, it's too hard, but because the Lord is constant, then I can be. So there are some of you here, life's pretty good. No real issues at the moment. I would encourage you to be a constant for someone. Be a voice, a face, a presence for someone who needs that. There are others of you that are living under the burden of just complete chaos. And I'm really here for you to remind you that the Lord is a constant. He's not going anywhere. The Word says so. He will never leave you or forsake you. Those are His words. And I want to remind you that it doesn't matter what you do. He's not going anywhere. Thank you.